The best and the worst thing about Maestro is that Bradley Cooper seems to inhabit Leonard Bernstein so much that he is out there trying to suck up all the oxygen in the room as if he's in competition with the subject of his movie. Hey, I'm film critic Rad Time Play. I'm going to get into some of the nitty gritty about why Maestro ultimately did not work for me, despite some really beautiful moments. There will be spoilers in this discussion. And let me start off by saying, hey, there is a lot of talent in this movie. You could clearly tell all the details are fussed over, really beautiful camera work, really extravagant performances. I was really enchanted by the opening of the flashback sequences where you see what looks to be a stage curtain. It's black and white. There's light creeping around this curtain. You think you're in an auditorium ready for a show, but then the curtain comes down. You're actually in Leonard Bernstein's bedroom while he's having a fling with another dude. It's a great visual to introduce the idea that Leonard Bernstein's life on stage kind of always bleeds into his life off stage, where he's always the center of attention. The way he moves through that sequence into Carnegie Hall, that's all brilliant stuff. And there is quite a few brilliant shots in this movie, but then there's also shots that seem to really take away from the story. One in particular that really bothered me is this sequence during the Thanksgiving Day parade. You see Leonard Bernstein and Felicia Montague fighting. The fight's happening in their bedroom while the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade is happening outside. Camera stays back while we're watching this couple perform this really rehearsed fight. And it's frustrating because why is this camera not in the moment with them? Why are we standing back? And then you get it. And then the payoff comes. You see Snoopy arrive through the window. That's a moment that's lifted from real life if you read Jamie Bernstein's book. Cooper directs that scene in a way where he's not giving due to the emotions of the moment. He's not giving due to what's happening between the couple. He's really setting up the moment just for a visual payoff so you could pay attention to what he just did as a visual stylist. And that's my problem with this movie. So much of this movie is all about showing you what Cooper can do as a director, as an actor. I mean, he shares the screen obviously with Carey Mulligan and shows you what she could do as an actor, but it's a movie where these artists are showing you what they got, in the meantime taking so much away from the story of Leonard Bernstein. And that idea really comes across when you consider the scenes that Bradley Cooper chose to keep in the movie versus the scenes that were left out. And I wrote about this in Zoomer magazine. This guy had a huge, colossal whirlwind life, and you could not possibly contain all of it within a movie, let alone maybe a miniseries. But the selections here are interesting because it looks like Bradley Cooper chose the scenes that were easiest for him to show off his directorial skills versus scenes that were just powerful storytelling. But please take a moment to check out my interviews with Leonard Bernstein's kids, where we discuss their parents' activism, the way their parents were always putting themselves out there for certain causes. Leonard Bernstein performed in Selma with Harry Belafonte. A key dramatic period in their life is when Felicia hosted a charity event for the Panther 21. That was incarcerated Black Panther members who she was raising funds for so they could support their legal defense and also their families. The charity event was mocked by the New Yorker magazine, who coined the term radical chic. Bernstein kids talked about how they had the Anti-Defamation League protesting outside their home, calling the Bernsteins anti-Semitic because they were supporting the Black Panthers who were anti-Zionist. That period of their story is so messy, so fascinating, so intriguing in terms of who they are. On the one hand, you could say, well, Cooper was avoiding that trope where we're praising white people for being bleeding hearts for Black people. Like, that is a trope. But at the same time, this is a really fascinating period where you could explore, were these couple allies for the sake of vanity, or were they allies for the sake of real charity? Absolutely potent stuff that this movie just completely leaves behind because it's just too complicated and doesn't benefit a showcase for Cooper's directorial skills. Make sure you have a look at my interview with the Bernstein kids at the post below. Make sure you follow me at Just Say Rad. And please watch Maestro and leave your thoughts below, because my thoughts are...
Forget about it. Garbage.